Russian President Vladimir Putin has proposed a quick settlement to the conflict around Iran during a telephone conversation with US President Donald Trump. The Kremlin described the conversation between the two leaders, their first since December, as frank and constructive. Briefing reporters, Kremlin foreign policy aide Yuri Ushakov said Putin called for a quick political and diplomatic settlement to the US-Israeli war against Iran, a key Russian ally. He added the leaders also discussed the war in Ukraine and noted that Russia's battlefield gains should prompt Kyiv towards negotiations.
The Russian president set out a number of considerations aimed at the swift political and diplomatic settlement of the Iran conflict, taking into account the contacts held with leaders of the Persian Gulf states, with Iran's President Pezeshkian, and with the heads of several other countries. In turn, the US president gave his assessment of developments in the context of the ongoing US-Israeli operation.
Speaking to reporters, Trump said he had a very good call with President Putin discussing Ukraine and the West Asia conflict.
Can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
What did you discuss?
Yes, I had a very good call with President Putin. We had a lot of people on the line from our side, from his side. We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And look, there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't seem to get it together. But I think it was a positive call on that subject. And we obviously talked then about the Middle East. And he wants to be helpful. I said, you could be more helpful by getting the Ukraine-Russia war over with. That would be more helpful. But we had a very good talk, and he wants to be very constructive. Yeah, please.
A series of talks have been held between Russian and US officials, as well as trilateral talks between Russian, US and Ukrainian officials. However, there has been no breakthrough in efforts to reach a ceasefire.